I want to talk about why the no contact thing is no contact ever again thing is so important. A lot of people seem to think it's some kind of vendetta or it's some kind of punishment. It's not that at all. The purpose of no contact ever again is to give yourself a psychological, emotional, spiritual, and biological respite from the trauma that will always be recurrent with toxic pathological or difficult people. You're not doing it to hurt them. If they're a psychopathic individual or a proto-psychopathic individual, they won't care. They don't care. They just get on with their lives like you never existed. It's not tit for tat, something like that at all. It's just so you stop wasting your emotional energy with this. That's important because when you get away is the only way you can really heal, because recurring bitterness only leads to rumination, and rumination is that thing of like thinking over and over again, reliving it over and over again. It never ends, and eventually it actually causes your neurology to rewire, and maybe even affects your epigenetics, that you cannot get that person out of your head. You're completely possessed. That person's possessed you, and the crime of what they've done has possessed you, and the hurt and the pain and the suffering has possessed you, and that will always be present unless you go no contact ever again. Remember, there's no happy endings. It's not going to be a happy ending, and it will never be anything other than pain and anger and resentment, and life is too short for that. I've gone no contact with loads of people. I don't think I'm actually no contact with any psychopaths right now, because it's a long time since I've met a psychopath. But I've gone no contact with people who they're just not going to hurt me anymore, and I don't want to deal with that. I've also gone no contact with people who, are just they're not healthy to have in my life, or they're especially not healthy to try and confront. And that's what no contact ever again is about. It's about a respite for the soul, really, when you think about it. And it does work. It absolutely works. It's the only thing that works, because it's the only thing that puts you in control. Like a lot of one of the reasons I don't like these psychopathic or sociopathic recovery forums is they stress no contact. It's you putting your mandate on the person who damaged you. But you see, that's still a kind of like a symbiotic victim thing. That's not the reason you do it at all. You have to look at no contact as this way: a wall that's built between you and these people or that person that stands for all eternity. And what takes place on the other side of that wall, you're completely oblivious to. And so the less you know about it, the less it can damage you. This is why I would say a good 75% of the people on these psychopath recovery forums are probably going to die on them, because there's some going on a decade later now, and they're still looking up their ex's photographs on Facebook. They're still hoping for karma. Let me tell you about karma. Karma is bullshit. Karma does not exist. Karma is a bullshit idea, and it's not real. And even though, from my own sort of study into this field, all psychopaths are generally, not all of them, but most of them are hardwired for the eventual self-destruction. But your job is not to be waiting around hoping to witness this event, because it will not happen, and you'll be wasting your life. You'll be wasting your life on something that is inconsequential to you, hoping for it, pining over it, ruminating over it. It's not going to help you. No contact ever. If all my work was to be completely discredited and I was to be completely forgotten, if there was one thing I would hope that people would remember from all my work, and that is no contact ever again. Because the world would be a much better place for everyone if, instead of trying to cure people who have a vested interest in either A, not wanting to be fixed, which is like the pathological types, or B, don't think there's anything wrong with them, the more narcissistic and self-absorbed, selfish types, you will never achieve any satisfaction in trying to do that. So no contact ever again. If we were to apply that everywhere, we'd end wars and everything. We just like, but what's wrong? We live in a world that's been sort of made toxic by some pathological forces which have us obsessing over our enemies, obsessing over people that we have grievances against, even if those grievances are imaginary. In many cases they are, or they're cultivated or socially engineered. No contact ever again gives you the one thing that you deserve more than anything else, and that's your life back.